Hello and welcome to car reveal number 5, and today is the big one. It is the Mercedes W12. Also later today it is Alpine. I think it's like 3 o'clock, it's currently 11:30, but without further ado we are just going to jump straight on in to the Mercedes W12, the brand new car that they have literally just released. It was done kind of early. They said they were going to do it at 11 in the morning, but then it was released at about 10:30, a couple teasers throughout the rest of the day. I think they just got a little bit excited, like kids at Christmas, ripping open presents and stuff like that. But let's jump on into the first image, and honestly, it is much the same as last year. It is still the black Mercedes, a little bit of silver on the engine cover, which I'm actually quite a big fan of. I do like that. What I am not so much a fan of is the AMG stickers all over the back. I would have liked the stars to have stayed, but honestly, I quite like the concept. Equally, I'm glad that they have slightly integrated the Ineos a little bit better, like it takes up a bit more of the engine cover than it did last year. It's also on the inside of the end plates of the front wing as well, and that's about it. It's possibly on the rear wing, but that just looks more like a reflection rather than anything else. And then just looking at another shot that they have released from sort of the rear end, at first when I saw this, it looked more like a shiny rear end more than anything, so like kind of the lighting reflecting off of the black, but it is actually definitely silver. Interestingly, they've got some bumps in the back of the car that definitely weren't there last year. We've got some side-by-side comparisons coming up, which we'll definitely look at. The rear wing looks much the same, and I definitely do like the hollow 77 numbers and also the 44 as well on Lewis Hamilton's car. But generally, I think I do prefer the stars from last year and from 2019 as well when they had the stars. The AMGs, I don't know, something about it is just, it's not quite right for me just yet. But 100% I do think it will grow on me. And then we've got another angle. They're all slightly similar apart from the front side. Again, there is no top-down view. We've only had 2 top-down views from the 5 car launches so far this year. So it is a very, very similar car to last year. And then finally, we have the front end of this car. I do kind of like the Petronas bits on the front wing, but at the same time, I don't. It just feels a bit too bold. There's not a lot there. I feel there needs to be something else there as well. But with the car all done and dusted and the reveal of that complete, we will move on into some side-by-side comparisons of its 2020 iteration. So we've got 2020 on the top and then 2021 on the bottom. This is the launch photos from 2020 and the launch photos from 2021, or at least renders, I should say. Also, I'm not an aerodynamicist, so I don't know 100% of all of the technical terms and the finicky little bits of the car. I use very loose terms, which some people find quite interesting. But the first section to highlight is on the front wing here. Most teams have it very vertical in this section, whereas Mercedes have gone for a sort of cutout bit just behind or just in front of the front wheel. And again, we can see it here on the 2021 iteration. And then also they've chosen to keep the same top of this engine cover, their sort of half shark fin. It's literally exactly the same as this year's car as well. So unlike Alfa Romeo, where they had a significant engine cover change, Mercedes have managed to keep this the same. But next up is definitely the engine shape. It seems to have changed. So we can see here there's a nice highlighting line just above this third red arrow in the middle. But here you can't really see that. It definitely looks like it's a different shape. And then of course we have all of those bulges as well. But the rear wing is much the same from the 2020 version to the 2021 car, but equally the rear wings change pretty much from race to race, like the front wing designs and things like that. So it's not really worthwhile comparing these bits of the car. And then more for just the thumbnail purposes, I'm going to highlight the bargeboard area as I really can't see anything at all. These pictures aren't the best. The digital renders never seem to show the car in its full light, and definitely with this 2021 launch, with the black background, I can't see a thing. It's mainly for the thumbnail reasons. But finally, I will just highlight this little bulge, and there is also one just below the 44, which I haven't put an arrow to, but I'll probably zoom in on this little section. It's definitely prominent, like prominent here in 2021, and not here in 2020. I don't know if it was something that was developed throughout the year in 2020, or whether it's just sort of popped up here for 2021, which is interesting if it has, because that's going to mean they've developed something else with that power unit. They've done something slightly different, again, to include this little bulge. But then just moving on to a front-on comparison of the two cars, 2020 on the left and 2021 on the right. The first thing to highlight is, of course, the front wing end plates, and this little like swoopy bit is exactly the same here on the outboard side of the front wing. And again, that's literally about it. The bargeboard sections look very, very similar. Very, very similar between the two cars. Unlike the Red Bull and I think it was the McLaren that have slightly changed the makeup of them, Mercedes haven't seemed to have done that. They seem to be very, very similar. And unfortunately, that is all of the side-by-side comparisons that I can do, and also my first thoughts on the car, as they didn't really match up the launch photos for the previous year, so I can't actually draw any more comparisons between the cars. And again, no top-down view, so I can't get a detailed look at the floor. These are also only renders of the cars as well, so bits can change. Like the McLaren, they can take bits off and add bits in, etc, etc. So maybe when the shakedown comes of the car, I might do a little update video possibly. But I quite like looking at the renders, as you do get nice angles of them, apart from the top-down view, unfortunately. But that is all I've got for you today, guys. Join me later today for the Alpine launch. I think that's going to be sometime around 3 o'clock, so the video will be 4:30, something along those lines. But that is all I've got for you today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will catch you for that Alpine launch later today. Have a good one.